Ever since The Office ended in 2011 and The Office minus Steve Carell ended in 2013, fans have been clamoring for a reunion, a full reunion. And despite pretty much everyone involved stating repeatedly that reassembling the busy and talented cast would be a gargantuan task, here's why it's definitely, absolutely going to happen. We hope. Please. We're quarantined. We need this.
Dunder Mifflin. People versus people. Dunder Mifflin. Yeah!
First and foremost, reunions and sitcom relaunches are all the rage these days. But that's hardly enough to get our hopes up alone. What does seem exciting is the news that the Parks and Recreation cast will reunite for a scripted special in the name of charity. And if The Office's younger cousin Parks and Rec can get Amy Poehler, Nick Offerman, and Chris Pratt to dust off their Pawnee City Hall ID badges, maybe a second helping of Kevin's famous chili isn't too much to ask for.
It's probably the thing I do best.
I declare bankruptcy!
Second up, that time 2 years ago when NBC's entertainment chair Bob Greenblatt said he was looking very seriously at West Wing or The Office reboots. And while a West Wing reboot seems a little tonally inconsistent with our times right now, an Office reboot still sounds awesome. At the time, Greenblatt was speaking at the Hollywood Reporter's Power Lawyers Breakfast, which sounds just awful, and foresaw a slew of NBC reboots in the coming decade, although he specifically mentioned that these would not, in all cases, include the entire original casts, which is a natural caveat to make. But things have evolved since then, like a cat person turning into a dog person.
If you pray enough, you can change yourself into a cat person.
Those guys always turn back, Angela.
No, God! No!
Since Greenblatt's comments, The Office cast have been asked about the potential for a reunion at nearly every possible opportunity, and most of them aren't kicking the idea out of bed. In an interview with IGN, "Hey, that's us!" John Krasinski, aka Jim, coyly smirked directly into camera and said, quote, "I love the idea of coming back together. I think it'd be impossible to get us all together to do a run of the series, but British shows have the Christmas specials. And in fact, the British Office finished its run with 2 45-minute Christmas episodes. So Christmas special, being the final note in the symphony that is the US Office, would be fitting. Not to mention Office crew members boom operator Brian Whittle and hairstylist Kim Ferry, who were both quoted in a recent Office behind-the-scenes book as overhearing Steve Carell say that he had no objection to reprising his role of Michael Scott, even at the end of Season 7. And his departure was more a case of crossed wires and missed connections between him and NBC executives.
David, it was my understanding that I was not going to be managed.
What gave you that idea?
It was my understanding.
And if that's too many degrees of separation from real journalism for you, how about...
I've never seen that look in a man's eyes, ever. I thought that I might die.
The increasingly frequent reunions of various members of key Office staff. There's the upcoming series Space Force, which reunites Carell with Office creator Greg Daniels, Carell's appearance on John Krasinski's web series Some Good News, the mini reunion on SNL that even called out the public demand for a reunion episode, and the time they all got together to recreate the photo op from A Benihana Christmas. Around these appearances, Carell said, quote, "Some of my most fun memories, personally or professionally, are intertwined and connected with that show." And Krasinski said, "I know everyone's talking about a reunion. Hopefully one day we just get to reunite as people and just all get to say hi." If Rainn Wilson says anything about a reunion,
Baby, you
we got a
stew
stew going. Sorry, wrong sitcom reference.
Say bandit!
Last but not least, we even spoke to Greg Daniels ourselves about his upcoming series Space Force and Upload, as well as the entire run of The Office coming to NBC's Peacock. And naturally, we couldn't resist asking him the question that pounds in every Office fan's brain like a fashion show at lunch. When asked about a potential reunion, Daniels had this to say, quote, It's so personally satisfying for me to work with Steve again, and I have talked with Steve about the fact that in a year or two we're going to start on Peacock as a rerun, and I'm sure that they would love something, some sort of a something. I'm a little reluctant to open up the characters' endings because we wrote specifically to an ending, but as we hang around, we sometimes think about it. And there is a script that was written in season 1. There was an extra script written that was never shot called Pet Day. So I don't know. Sometimes we joke around about gathering to do Pet Day. End salacious quote. And what about Peacock? In a marketplace already saturated with premium streaming platforms, NBC is going to need a heavy hitter to help generate buzz around their service. Perhaps a one-off reunion episode of the most successful TV show ever to burst forth from the NBC stable with all the fury of Meredith Palmer chasing a Popov bottle down the street? I think so. In the end, all we can do is pray that Carell and Daniels get to reminiscing about old times on the set of Space Force, because I don't know about you, but a bonus Office episode from the middle of the timeline would hit the spot right about now.
Oh, yeah.
For more Office news and nerdery, check out some of the full articles linked below in the video description, and/or keep it locked to IGN.
Listening to music? What? Shut that off! I'm not listening to music. Fine, just go crazy for a little while.